All right, hey, check this out. Do you want to play video games all day? Maybe you want to like sit around and read books. Maybe you just want to sit on the beach or you want to sew. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever that life dream is that you want to do without any worries all day, there's one way to get it, and that's through passive income. So let's talk a little bit about how to get passive income, what it is, and the three easiest ways that you can get there. So you can take your time and sit around and watch YouTube videos all day. All right, let's do this. So passive income, why in the world are we here? All right, so passive income is basically getting paid to do nothing. Now I don't want to say nothing because you're always going to have to do work. But instead of actually taking your time and working for a per hour dollar amount, passive income is what allows you to get paid even when you're not doing anything. So when you're sleeping, you're going to get paid. When you're working, you're going to get paid. Sounds fun, right? When you're playing games, when you're reading books, when you're watching YouTube videos, you're going to get paid. All right. But how do we do that? How do we get paid when we're doing other things? So there's three main ways to get paid while you're not doing anything. And those sources of passive income are stocks and bonds, real estate, and businesses. They're the three easiest ways to get paid while you're not really doing anything. I know, I said businesses, and it sounds like a lot of work to run a business. Now, depending upon what level of business you're running, it can be. But stay tuned, we're going to get that one last, because that one is also the most rewarding. Stocks, bonds, real estate, and businesses. They're ordered that way because they're ordered from what's going to take you the least amount of work. Stocks and bonds take no work. You put the money into it, somebody else manages it, somebody else does everything for you. But guess what? They're doing all the work, so they're going to take a larger portion of the pay. Real estate, you get a nice mix of these two things. And in business, yeah, you're going to be doing a lot more work and you're going to be getting paid a lot more. So with stocks and bonds, when you're investing in those for passive income, you're investing for dividends. And dividends are kind of like you getting a paycheck. So in your job, you're giving your time and effort to get a paycheck. In the case of dividends, you're giving the company your money and they're going to give you a paycheck. And dividend yields is what they're called. There's a percentage, and that percentage is what they're going to pay you every year. So I like to keep it simple, and I like real estate, so I've always invested in things like Vanguard's real estate investment trust exchange traded fund. It's pretty much a lot of letters to say they manage my money, and at the end of the year, they'll give me 4.4% back or so. So for stocks and dividends like that and those returns, you're not doing a lot of work. So you're not going to get a great reward. It's 4% a year. So that means to make $44,000 a year, you would need to have $1 million invested with them. Like $1 million. All right. Hey, but we're not necessarily starting there. But it's a super safe and super easy way to start getting invested and start moving along. And who knows? Once you get that $1 million, maybe you too can have dolphins with laser guns on them, right? So, stocks and bonds. How do you find these? Okay, so there's most companies. You can find them easy. And like I mentioned earlier, the Vanguard ETF is a real easy one. It's pretty spread out, nothing amazing. I'll include a link below in the notes. I get absolutely nothing for that, so go ahead and use it and just start investing there. You can put away like $100 a month and it just comes automatically out of your bank account. You won't even notice it's gone, and before you know it, you'll have more money. So another way to do dividends and stocks and bonds, and we're talking monopoly. This is the like 1900s method, but it still works today. What you do is you invest in utilities. Like, you remember those little two squares on the Monopoly board? You had the waterworks and the power company. And you can do that nowadays. I'm in Southern California, and Southern California Edison and SDG&E, the gas company, are public utilities. So they're this weird thing. It's for profit and stuff like that. But they pay out dividends based on their profits every year. Now, I like those because you're not getting a high reward, but people have to pay their power. So it's a very stable income, it's very predictable, and you're really good in knowing exactly what you're going to get paid. So that should be an easy one. Play Monopoly, play those little 2 utility squares, and just keep getting paid. But what does it require from you to get that passive income? Fortunately, with utilities and stocks and bonds and dividends, it really doesn't require anything. You fill out the paperwork once, they take the money out of your bank account every month, and then they pay you. I know with the Vanguard, it's quarterly, some are monthly, some are annually, but they're going to continue to pay you dividends. And so you'll keep getting paid. All right. So with that one, how much will you make? Because you're not doing anything, you're simply just giving them a little bit of money. They're giving you a little bit of money back. On average, for dividends right now in the US stock market, it's about 2%. With real estate, it's higher because they're required to pay out more of their profits. And with utilities, it's pretty good. But you can make anywhere from 2 to like 10%. In that 8 and 10% area, you're going to start getting more speculative. And that's not what this foundation is for, personally. So if you're making that 4% to 6%, that's great. Hey, if we're back to that $1 million, then that's 60 grand a year, right? So you can make a full-time living for literally just giving them your money. All right, asset class number 2. So real estate. Real estate's super simple, right? It's buying a house and renting it. You've probably rented before. Maybe you're renting right now. I've rented before. I even rented when I owned several properties. Because if you remember the real estate bust in 08 or so, I just knew that the prices were way too high for the rent that I could collect, and I couldn't afford to buy houses. So I rented. All right, so let's check this out. How do we find these? I think this is the easiest asset class to find because I'm sitting in a house. My neighbor's sitting in a house. I hope you're sitting in a house. But wherever you are, you can have a house and you can sit there, and that's where you find that house. So what does it require from you for rentals? Well, the harder part about rentals than stocks is you have to manage a person because it's a person that's renting your house. You're renting your house. Think about your neighbor. If you're renting your house to your neighbor, when something goes wrong, you're the person that has to not fix it. Like you don't have to change the toilet or whatever, paint the house or do any of those things. You can still hire people to do all of that, but you're the landlord. They're going to call you. And they're going to say, hey, my oven doesn't work, or the washer's broken, or the dishwasher's broken. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't all the time. I maybe get a call once every 6 months. The rest of the time, the checks show up in the mail, and everything's good. Most of the time, tenants are not too bad. There are some things that you have to learn about houses, though, that you just also need to do regular maintenance on them. The air dryer vents need to be done. In some places, if you get a bigger place, you need to take care of the mowing and stuff like that. But it's not that much more. And your profit can be a lot more. So that's the best part. How much can you make? All right. It's a wide variety of what you can make. But for a $200,000 property, I can rent it out for about $3,200 a month. The mortgage on that property is around $1,200 a month. And with that, you want to save 25% because things are going to go wrong. Just trust me. The water heater is going to break. The washer dryer is going to break. I mean, if you've lived in a house, you know things happen. You'll need the roof replaced. These are just parts of it. They're just standard. So with that, you should be saving $400 to $500 a month for repairs. Now, that'll give you $1,000 to $1,500 a month in income every month as long as somebody's renting there. So for rentals, say you don't want to be the person they call. Say you really want to like put on the headphones and listen to YouTube and check out. You want to play that game and you don't want to be bothered with it. Take your vacation to Bali, be out of the country, whatever it is. You can hire a property manager for 10% of your rent. So that would mean that for that property, in the example of $3,200 a month, you would pay them $320 a month to manage the property. Now, like I mentioned, with the one vacant unit, if there was only $1,600 a month coming in, you would only pay them you would only pay them $160 a month. Great deal, right? So instead of that $1,000 to $1,500 a month in profit, you would take that $300 out, and so you'd only be making $600 a month, but you wouldn't be doing much. You just have to manage them. And a lot of times it's easier to manage a property manager because they're a business. They're a business person and they understand. I like that option. I pay that 10% because I don't have the ability to to manage people. Owning your own business. I own businesses. I love it and it's awesome. So, you can simply start owning your own business by doing what I talked about in previous videos. You affiliate market. And that is simply you go to Amazon, you sign up as an Amazon affiliate, you create social media accounts, and then you live your life. And then you recommend things to people that you're already living your life on. You could sit here and say like, wow, you know what? I love my Nalgene bottle. I went out to the beach yesterday and I had this extra Nalgene bottle with a liter in it. And if you want a Nalgene bottle, here's the one that I'm using in the link below. And Amazon will pay you 4 to 8%. It's a great business model. It doesn't have any upfront capital costs because you're already alive and you're already doing things. And all you have to do is share these things, right? And there's no risk in that business because the worst thing that happens on that passive income thing is that you just don't do it anymore. So there's a lot of other businesses. You can teach. You can sell products. What do I have? Like, okay, so you could be a manufacturer of a GoPro and you could sell GoPros to people. You can like make pencils and expo markers and stuff like that. But it's not just that. You could also teach people how to sew, to paint, to draw. You can fix cars. You can ride bikes. Like you walk down the street or drive down the street and you look at like all these businesses and dance studios and martial arts and furniture stores and anything. And those are businesses that are a little bit more capital intensive. But nowadays also you can move those businesses online and do them that way. But how? What business? What idea should you start? How can I find a business? I'll link a card up there because I did a video on that because that's a little more intensive in you and who you are and what your passions and creativity is. But once you find that business, you can go run that business online and profit from that. All right, so what does that require from you? Well, we had stocks and bonds, which don't require anything but your money, and then they pay you. We have real estate where you may have to manage a person, but you do have to learn real estate. You do have to save some money, and then you do have to invest properly. Now, with a business, like we said, you can just start a social media account, start an Amazon associate account, and start linking products that you use. And that's super simple. So that's the easy part, is the social media. And the hard part is what people had to do 50 years ago, even. Like, you had to buy a building and make that whole hamburger joint, and everything you see in there had to be paid for by the capitalist, by the owner. They had to put their money up for that business, right? How much can you make with something like that? Well, there you are, Amazon. Think Jeff Bezos. Think Tesla and Elon Musk. Think Apple and Steve Jobs. Think Warren Buffett and stock investing. Think, what's her name? The lipstick, Kylie Jenner. Like, she made some lipstick, but she kind of started social media. She got a following. So you can scale that social media all the way up to Kylie Jenner's lipstick. I don't remember what it's called, but it's got $1 billion valuation. So that's how much you can make in a top line and a bottom line. But I've known a lot of people. My neighbor does social media influencing. One of my ex-coworkers, former coworkers, his wife did the social media influencing where she just posted her outfits and her clothes and it linked somewhere and people were able to buy it. And she said she was making a little over six figures. So she's making about $150,000 a year by doing that. So that's a good living. I don't know who in the world wouldn't want to live off $100,000. So plenty of ideas, great ideas. Which one would you use? Which one do you think is most applicable to you that you could do and implement right now? Like, let us know in the comments, and you'll see other people's ideas and things too. So, thank you very much for coming. I truly appreciate you spending your time here. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, there's going to be a subscriptions button and notifications if you want to continue learning about fitness, finance, and how they're going to lead to your fortune. Also, some other suggested videos. Cool. God bless. Love you so much. Thank you again for your time. Darnell's out.